singer. I am from my family's from Austin, Texas, and I go to school in Florida at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, studying human factors engineering slash psychology.
Years ago, well, almost 2 years ago, I interviewed you right after you shaved your head. And I also
Yep,
shaved your head, which is
you did.
funny. The first question I asked you was, why did you decide to shave your head?
So my mother shaved her hair when she was my age, traveling the world for 3 years, and my grandparents have a picture of her with her head shaved at their house, and I always thought that she was really brave and beautiful for doing it. Um, and so I felt like at some point in my life I would shave my head. And so when I came here, I felt like this would be a good opportunity for me to maybe do it. And then my mother told me um, not to do it because my boyfriend doesn't like shaved heads, and also due to professional internships. So yeah, my mother told me that I shouldn't shave my head, and I felt some dissonance with that. So uh, then I just went around and talked to other people, especially about the professional internship aspect, and found I that it wouldn't necessarily be the case. Like I talked to someone who worked at Accenture, which was a company I was interested in. He said, it's really about come as you are. And same with someone who worked at Microsoft, it's come as you are. So I felt more confident that way. And then on the day, there was a lot of social pressure to to shave your head, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing it for me, and I still wasn't fully convinced. And then I had a conversation with you, and you know, and through a conversation I had with someone else on the ship, I realized that there's a lot of growth in uncertainty and change, and that I wanted to honor that part. So initially, I just started with the back of my head, and then I sat with it for several hours and really thought about whether or not that was something I wanted to do. And then when I did that, I felt this dissonance between the person that catered towards to others and um, and was a little bit more reserved, and then the person with the shaved head felt more of the free, brave, true to self, focused on my needs and wants, and ultimately, when I saw that in the mirror, I made the decision to shave my head.
I find that still to be true. Um, I think I did it less for my mother than I did for myself because I had that sense of dissonance. And I'm so glad I did it. Um, even now, like I mean, I was just I'm looking at myself, and like you said, it's a conversation, and all I can mark is, or the first thing I thought was just that I was beautiful. And, you know, and I'm like, especially going through some health things right now. Um, it's, it's kind of hard to honor your wants and needs because you've got a primary, if you think of like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, like it's solely like basic building block. Um, but it makes it better knowing that I did that for myself and I still have obviously very short hair. Um, and yeah, I'm just proud of myself.
I feel really good. I honestly wish that um, I, I had contemplated reshaving my head because I really like it. Um, I would keep it this way. It's been interesting being in countries, being mistaken for a boy, and like being stopped in security lines because I don't have hair and I have to say over and over again that I'm a female. Um, I more laugh at it than take it seriously, so it doesn't bother me that much.
All right. How do you feel right now?
I feel really good. Um, I had some awkward stages with my hair. I call it like the hedgehog stage. Um, didn't love that so much, but um, I have really enjoyed having short hair. Um, I do feel like I'm honoring myself more um, by doing this whole process. Um, kind of going back to the first video a little bit, I talked about the internships and I looked into Boeing and I got 2 internship offers with 2 other companies. And no one cared about my hair. So I really had nothing to worry about. And if I was to tell, like, if, for example, I had a daughter, I would for sure tell them um, to not be concerned with what other people think. Um, I do think sometimes I mean, women especially do drastic things with their hair after certain periods of their life. And, um, but I think that's a natural part of different eras or periods. So um, it's just a external expression to our internal, processing. So um, you know, I'm grateful, but I had more people comment about my hair abroad than around in the US, which is not something I was necessarily expecting. So, but yeah, I'm just grateful that I did it.
For sure. So speaking of comments, the next question I asked you was, have you gotten any comments about your hair or decision?
I got one comment from a taxi driver. He asked me why I shaved my head because he said that beauty was in the person's hair. And personally, like I explained a little bit, not the full story, but I thought to myself that I should, or I told him, about that experience, and then I thought that there was a lot more inner beauty that I was experiencing rather than my hair.
Well, seeing my boyfriend after semester at sea, because I met him in Frankfurt, um, he even though he had seen me on video, it was different from him to just see me with no hair. Um, he still prefers me with long hair. Um, but he was very supportive of the whole journey and has been, even for my decision to keep my hair short. It hasn't, it like, I guess I should, within the last like probably 6 months now, I've decided to start growing out my hair, but prior to that, I've been keeping it much, much shorter than even it is now. So, I've just been celebrating it. And so no, I haven't really, well, I have been mistaken for a guy multiple times. Um, but I'm also more of a tomboy in general. So, if I'm wearing a ball cap or, a new hat or, I mean, I guess I'm of a more athletic build. So if you're not looking close enough, then um I guess.
Yeah,
But um I would say, I mean, just looking at the video of myself, I think I look more feminine in that video than I do right now. I think I still believe that internal beauty um is more important than external. But in that case, it was reflected outwards. Um, and I'm like since the health stuff, I'm rediscovering joy. So I think that could also be a reason why. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I haven't been targeted at all, really. So,
for sure.
mhm.
Right. Let's move on. I asked you if you move, see, if you miss your hair. Sorry.
No, not really. I think that's actually kind of weird. Um, well, okay, that's not true. There are moments when I miss it, but it's more, I think other people, I think, respect me more with my hair. And so I don't necessarily like it for that reason. But it's not quite warring with myself because I'm definitely pro having no hair. It's a journey.
So do you miss your hair today?
Um, well, I mean, I am growing my hair back out, so kind of. At the same time, I miss having a bald head. Um, and I going back to my college, obviously I had a bald head and or mostly bald anyway. And everyone else told me that I looked really good. Um, I don't know, I can always go back to my bald head and I can always grow my hair out. And I guess another thing with gender is like I think I've become a lot more fluid with my like own self-expression. And my hair, I don't care as much. I find it more a nuisance than anything. Um, my hair, that is. Um, I am glad I waited for it, like waited till the afternoon.
Mhm.
Um, but it's yeah, I mean, open definitely a door to, I think, being more direct and holding space for myself and telling myself that I can, like, I own my space and I don't care what anyone else thinks about that. Um, you know, we all have a place in this world, and I just try to be less apologetic about it because I tend to apologize for literally everything.
Mhm.
Um, so honoring myself more.
For sure. So keeping that in mind, I asked you if you would recommend this to other women.
Definitely. I would hope that every single woman in their life did it at least once. Um, and in fact, when I'm thinking about my own hair, it's like why would you only like do it once and not have it for a while? Why not sit in it instead of immediately trying to grow your hair back to the way it was? So, I don't know. It's just a question I have right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have a lot of wisdom 2 years ago, and I haven't really changed much in general, so I guess that makes sense. Um, I would say I will encourage my kids to do it. Um, I don't know if they'll do semester at sea or whatever, but I do also think I'm so glad I did it while I was abroad and among, uh, like, I believe it was a gift to be able to see how different people of different cultures reacted to me having no hair and, um, and also being a part of this supportive community. And I feel like, because I said in the beginning in the previous interview that my mother didn't like it and my boyfriend didn't really like it. Um, I think I would have judged myself a lot if I had done that by myself here. But what I can do going forward is emulate what I needed in my own environment. Um, so I can be more supportive to other women who are potentially wanting to go through it for themselves. I think one drawback of doing it at semester at sea is that, as I commented in the previous interview, there is a lot of social pressure around it. And so it's hard to know exactly if you're doing it for yourself or for others or to fit in. Um, so I think people have the benefit of doing it at home. Um, or and also like there are other communities, like find it even if it's an online community of bald people, because that is for sure a thing. Um, to gain support if family isn't, or and if it culturally isn't, um, make sure you're safe, of course, um, because safety and basic needs come first. But um, let's say do it, honor it, own it, be
Mm,
yourself. So
great advice. So I'm not sure if you remember, but I asked you what went through your head while shaving.
So many things. Um, you know, the first time I shaved my head, just like the back portion, I, um, again, all I felt was just a sense of dissonance. And I was expecting to be, I was nervous, but I was expecting to be a lot more feeling around it. And I felt kind of void of what I was expecting. So I thought that was interesting. And then when you shaved my head, my full head, I somewhat couldn't believe that I was doing it. And I felt a lot of emotion. Right. So when you were shaving my head, I just was crying and I couldn't believe I was doing it. And I just I was excited, but, again, just a lot of emotion and feeling and thought was attached to my head or hair. And but it was interesting as my hair was coming off of me, or off my head and kind of around my shoulders. It felt like the shroud of my past kind of falling away and allowing me to break through to a better future. And that was really powerful. I was honestly almost scared to look at myself in the mirror. And one of the first thoughts I had about that was just like, oh, what if my head looks ugly? But that thought didn't really feel that true, because I still wanted to do it and I still felt like I would be beautiful. But it did take me a while, because, head shapes are vastly different between people. So, but then I did, and I felt and looked beautiful. So I'm just really glad I did it.
All right. So I don't think that can change much, since that was like what you felt in the moment, right?
Mm.
I did want to ask if you wanted to see yourself being shaved.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
Of course. My mind is already got I gotta get my mind out of I already undressed my head. What's next?
It's okay to cry. Get it out.
Where's the Ziploc bag with the aliens in? Here's your strap.
Yeah, Hannah. It's so good.
You're so brave. It makes me tear up.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's just glowing. Yeah?
No, don't be
No.
stupid. You're shedding something that you've been holding on to for your whole life. So don't be ashamed.
Sorry, you're good. Do you mind holding this camera? It's smaller.
It was really crazy
Yeah, Hannah.
Yeah, sorry. Gonna put it.
We're in the eye of the storm. We're in the eye of the storm. You can't see it.
Give it to my grandma and like, look, you can have my hair. It's a constant joke. It's like we tell him that he has no hair, and then he's like, I'm gonna steal some of yours because I got rid of all my
Oh, is this where it's going down? Wow, this is awesome. I know, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, what's up?
You're good, man.
Natalia, your GoPro is so hot.
I know. I've been recording a lot.
No, it's the freckles.
It's your freckles.
That's really
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
Really nice, like, freckles.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Like right here, right there. It kind of looks like, yeah. I think I'm gonna get colored like in like tomorrow or something.
Are you gonna save some of your hair?
Yeah. I don't know. My grandfather, there's a joke in my family about how the fact he has no hair. And so he says he's gonna steal some of ours. So because I got rid of all my hair.
Ready?
Have you ever had a wild haircut?
Last year it was like.
You promise I don't look bad.
Yes, Hannah.
Like 100%.
You look amazing. It looks good. Yeah. It looks so
You look
good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I would say the best part of, because you asked about like community and was you, I think, because it wasn't so much like everyone else, but I'm really grateful that you just sat with me and talked me through it. And like I really truly enjoyed our conversation. And so like I said, I'm just grateful that you included me in this project, and it's allowed me to reconnect with you. So
I agree. Thank you so much.
when it was coming off of me, when you were shaving my head, additional thoughts were just like, it kind of almost felt like a limp curtain or something. Like it was just like coming off, it was soggy and not representative. I don't really know how to describe it or to put it in exact words, but yeah. Yeah, I'm glad, especially among the women, that we we did have conversation. So
Well, to end this conversation,
yeah.
I asked you to give yourself a future message.
Okay.
So this is 2 year ago, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
telling yourself.
I would say don't be afraid to rock it while you're doing internships or jobs. Don't apologize for being yourself. I don't want to get emotional. Well, it's okay to be emotional. It's just part of life. I would say continue to honor who you are and continue to grow through change and adversity and new things. Because sometimes you get stuck in the same cycles and you don't always remember that they're not good for you. So, or that there are things you can change to make it better. And you're always looking for improvement, but some of the most blatantly or like putting it in your face that you need to change things, sometimes you don't necessarily see those. So just keep changing and growing. It's okay to go through a lot. Just breathe through it.
I mean, I'm going through a lot right now. And I don't know, I appreciate that part of the message because I feel like I've made a lot of changes in the last 2 years. And my boyfriend and I are now starting to look at rings.
Ooh.
Yeah. But he's been my rock through all of it and has really stood by my side. Not to be like stereotypical male, or like talk about the stereotypical male, but I feel like if it was anyone else, he wouldn't have stayed, through all of it. But he's been nothing but supportive and kind. And I need to emulate that self-compassion towards myself. And no, but I do think I became more confident, shaking my head, and I just need to remember to breathe. So, but a lot happens in 2 years, but even more happens in a lifetime. So, gotta be ready for it.
That's okay.
So.
Yeah, that's valuable. Well, all right. Thank you so much, Hannah, for
Thank you.